from the singer's lips. I'm hanging on, hanging on. Can't find my way, hanging on by my fingertips to God's ear from the singer's lips. I'm hanging on, hanging on. Help me find my way down. Why, thank you. Wind is shifting to the west, where the daylight goes to rest. I put on my Sunday best. It's a good day to wear a suit. Little footsteps down the hall, family portrait on the wall. Little squabbles I recall. It's a good day to wear a suit. Old black phone that doesn't ring. Silly song we used to sing, like it's just now happening. It's a good day to wear a suit. I've been packing up your stuff. You'll be coming soon enough. Some new guy you swear to love. It's a good day wear a suit. Something old, something blue. Future is the something you are bound to disappear into. It's a good day to wear a suit. Wind is shifting to the west, where the daylight goes to rest. I put on my Sunday best. It's a good day Okay, so it's time for the Dan Hazlett trivia question. Last week, the question was, and the answer may be surprising to you, what instrument did I first learn to play? And I will amend this by saying I didn't really ever master this instrument, but the answer turns out to be piano. And we had a winner, Lauren Crane, won. She got the answer correct. So this week, maybe you could win a prize and get the answer correct. Here's my lovely wife, Margaret, to give you this week's clue.
Dan is connected to a large community of artists. Name the local songwriting group he co-founded.
The universe is constantly trying to create physical reality out of what we intently imagine. So I invite you to join me as we imagine together a world we'd prefer to live in. One I can keep. Whisper it softly into my sleep. One I'll recall when I wake up. So I will know I've been dreaming. Tell me a story, wild as the sky, one that is true, even when it's a lie, one I believe in my moment of doubt. Then I will know I've been dreaming. Of my dreams, no armies exist, no hand is clenched in the shape of a fist, no view is spoiled by the waving of flags. All children slumber in peace. Tell me a secret that only you know, to hide like an acorn deep in the snow, to stir in my sleep like the promise of May. And I will know I've been dreaming. Fondest dreams, no hunger is found. All we receive is in turn passed around. No borders are drawn by invisible lines. All children slumber in peace. Tell me a secret, one I can keep. Whisper it softly into my sleep. One I'll recall when I wake up. So I will know I've been dreaming. So I, for one, would prefer to live in a world where every single individual, regardless of their ethnicity, their gender, or their sexual orientation, is treated with the same dignity and respect that each individual deserves. But that's the wrong key, and that would not work. One was a lengthy beanpole, the other short and stout. They made a real odd couple whenever they went out. They were two peas in one pod underneath the skin. Everyone referred to them as good old thick and thin. They were clumsy on the dance floor, like push had come to shove. Most people looked away when it was clear they were in love. Oh, and Dave stayed right there with them that time Joey got so sick. Every time he woke back up, there sat his man thick. I'll be here when the winter rains begin. I'll hold on when the roof starts caving in. I'll be on your side when some fool claims it's a sin. I will stick with you through thick and thin. Seems like yesterday to me, although they passed on long ago. They made a better couple than most married folks I know. Written on their gravestone on a single plot of land, a simple line of verse some people still don't understand. I'll be here when the winter rains begin. I'll hold on when the roof starts caving in. I'll be on your side when some fool claims it's a sin. I will stick with you through thick and thin. Oh baby, I will stick with you through thick and thin. Ah, yes, thank you. So now it's time for the segment called Star from Afar, where we welcome our star guest, Mr. Steve Goulian, all the way from Lathrop Village. He's a wonderful songwriter. You're going to love his stuff. Hi, Steve.
Hey, Dan. Great to be here. Thanks for having me. I'm hoping to do the entire performance from my happy place, but it looks like my neighbor is getting ready to mow his grass, so we might have to take things indoors. Fingers crossed.
Glad to have you here, Steve. So kick it right off of the song.
1, 2, 3, 4. Just wait and see. That's all she said to me. Then she turned her face to the sun. I know that love, I could say words are none. When you're all alone in a crowded room, and no one hears a single thing you say, we'd be thick as thieves, aces up our sleeves. If I'd arrived just in time to slip away, I think it's time we fly, kiss all our cares goodbye, forget the wheres and the whys, hey, hey, my, my. I think it's time we fly. When the river rose, swallowed up our stepping stones, did you think about goodbye? Just around the bend, the river slows and the rapids end. We can give it one more try. When you're all alone in a crowded room, no one hears a single thing you say. Let's escape the din, catch a second wind. When northern lights as ice say on the cape, I think it's time we fly, kiss all our cares goodbye, forget the wheres and the whys, hey, hey, my, my. I think it's time we fly, kiss all our cares goodbye, forget the wheres and the whys, hey, hey, my, my. I think it's time we fly.
Very interesting, Steve. Very interesting indeed. And thank you so much for that song. Please answer a couple questions. So you've recently retired as an elementary school teacher, and I'm wondering how that change in your life has impacted your songwriting and your whole approach to the music industry.
Hey, great question, Dan. You know, when I was teaching, I had songs for every day of the week. I had songs for every subject. I would write songs serendipitously just to fit the mood, pick kids up, add a little levity to the situation, get silly, or calm things down. Why would anybody yell at a group of kids, "Hey, hey, yo, class," when instead you might slip to the back of the room and just tinkle out a little ditty on the piano or strum something on a guitar. You put a little music in the air and kids just calm down and tune in automatically. Hollywood knows it. Think about how they steer our emotions with those movie soundtracks. Madison Avenue knows it. Hooks and jingles, baby, hooks and jingles. You want to stick your concept into somebody else's head, you attach it to music, you attach it to emotion, hopefully you attach it to both. That's going to put it in long-term memory, and that's what teachers are in the business of doing, right? Putting those foreign concepts into children's heads. So now I'm actually working more on musicianship. Eric Frakes and I are going into the studio to record the 4th Rosetta Pebble CD down in Indianapolis, Hit City Recording. And our producer, Tim Brickley, has the idea that this one should be a live-ish album. So Eric and I are really working hard on getting our chops down.
Thanks, Steve. That's really cool. So you're in this wonderful band called Rosetta Pebble, as well as being a solo artist. And that brings up the question, any of these songs that you co-wrote with your students in the past, did any of them end up on a record by Rosetta Pebble?
Yes. Actually, one of the songs from Rosetta Pebble's 3rd album, May Your Light Shine Brightly, began as a science lesson. We were studying electricity, and I had the kids making series and parallel circuits. They were trying to light light bulbs and then make telegraphs to send messages 2 ways, and they were drawing schematic diagrams. And as encouragement, I came up with this ditty called May Your Light Shine Brightly. May your light shine brightly, may your circuits be complete, and all of your schematics be rectangular and neat. May your 2-way telegraphs send messages both ways. Let's have some fun, don't worry about the grade. And then later on I thought, oh, I like that little melody. That's kind of cute. I wonder if I can repurpose that as a Rosetta Pebble song. So with a few changes. May your light shine brightly. May your circle be complete. Every celebration leave you lighter on your feet. May your laugh lines telegraph a better way to be, and offer others hope and harmony. When the street lights glow and everybody goes to a warm place they might share, well, I hope there's room for you in a happy home or 2, or at least with ones who care.
Hey. That's so cool. And while we're at it, give us another song, Steve.
This one's called What Moves You. What's moving me is that wren right now. Can you hear it? Every night so free, positively glowing, please enlighten me. What moves you? What moves you? Where, when, and why do you fly? Never hear hello or goodbye in flight. Remember me before you were light. So low, my little butterfly, you flit and you flutter by, you never stay. Oh no, why do these afternoons drift in the night so soon? Stay, shed some light so I might find my way. Where do you think you're going? I made this nice cocoon, though I'm inside growing, there's still a little room. What moves you? What moves you? Keep moving on and on. Forget about the pieces and pawns, remains of old games, and flying too close to the flames. Oh no, why do these afternoons drift into night so soon? Stay, shed some light so I might find my way. So low, my little butterfly, you flit and you flutter by, you never stay. Oh no, what if I change my tune into that harvest moon? Rise, somehow fly and meet you in the sky. I've been grounded oh so long, think it's time to fly. What moves you is moving me to try. I can't say I know the way, so leave a subtle sign leading me toward the finish line. I can't say I know the way, but I can see the sign leading me toward, leading me toward, leading me toward the finish line. What moves you? Cue the wren. The birds here at Montgomery Manor definitely move me all summer long. It's amazing, really.
Yay. That was so great. It's been a real real pleasure and a great honor to have you come all the way from Lathrop Village, Steve Goulian, to be a guest on our show today. We're thrilled to have you. Thanks, and come back again.
So long from Montgomery Manor. Thanks a lot, Dan.
Hush, the fallen snow as white as your skin. Hush, I watch the change of color begin. The stories in the wine hanging on the vine. Let's drink them down and watch you blush. Hush, it's like the playground kids are choosing sides. Beware, I'll stir up what the darkness hides. It's all in what you hear. The beauty's in the ear. The sound of it will make you blush. The stolen youth Santa blues, the hidden bruise. These are the places where I love you. Hush, I seek the doorway where the secret pain goes. Hush, I'll kiss the anger where your wild wind blows. The poison's in the past, the antidote works fast. The healing's in the way you blush. The healing's in the way you blush. Hush, hush. Why, thank you. So you have to have some material in your set as a songwriter that's based on a fairy tale. It's just part of the deal. Not by the gray hairs on my chin, not by the deep lines etched into my skin. The world outside struggles to get in, not by the gray hairs on my chin. The wind may blow the straw away in some other towns made out of sticks and clay. Let the wild rains pour, let the spring floods come. This storm cannot shake apart our home. It's how you trust when I'm in doubt, how you can tell it will be best to wait it out, how you somehow know me this well when I can't even recognize myself. Wolves come howling at our door. We've wrestled with the likes of them before. We are a match for all their tricks. This house is more than mud and bricks. It's how you trust when I'm in doubt, how you can tell it will be best to wait it out, how you somehow know me this world when I can't even recognize by the gray hairs on my chin, not by the deep lines etched into my skin. The world outside struggles to get in, not by the gray hairs on my chin, not by the gray hairs. Why, thanks. So it is undeniable that from the very beginning of colonization, this country, the economy of this country, was built on the idea that a human being could own other human beings and treat them as property and to be abused, even killed. It's an ugly, horrible obscenity, the idea of slavery. And in Louisiana, one of the early plantations there was called Angola, because all the slaves were brought in from Angola in Africa. And after the Civil War, a retired or a former major from the Confederate Army got control of that piece of property. His name was Major James. And he had the idea of turning this property into a prison. And he got other prisons to send him convicts to his prison. And he got the local authorities to change the laws so that the smallest infractions were penalized with huge fines that the lowest economic class were not able to afford. So he was able to fill his prison with lots of convicts who he used as rented out labor and made a huge profit. It was slavery all over again with a new face. And they kept the old name Angola nevertheless. To this day, Angola is a prison. Angola, in fact, by population is the largest prison in the United States. Their population is approximately 76% people of color. 71% of those people are serving a life sentence, and 1.5% are there on death row to be executed. Yes, they've had executions there since the beginning. When the slaves were mistreated, then the convicts were mistreated in the same way. There was brutality and beatings and death. People were buried right on the property with no record of their existence. And of course, they had executions. They even had an electric chair there they stored there called Gruesome Gertie. The scar, the wound of racism is such an ugly wound on the psyche of this country. And it keeps coming back around. And it's going to keep coming back around. Right up till the day that we acknowledge it and begin to heal that scar. Here's the song of Angola. Big money winds its way around past Highway 66, where the sun sets on the Spanish moss and the moon shines on the bricks. When the lights in town are flicker, people say that I'm to blame. They call me electrician, that ain't the job's real name. Work down at Angola, what the locals call the farm. Some say I'm doing God's this work. Some say I'm doing harm. I'm doing what I'm paid to do, no matter what they claim. I'm just the electrician, that ain't the job's real name. I heard them beg for mercy, heard the clanking of their chains, how they declare their innocence. They all try to explain. I just do my job here, not the one to blame. I'm just the electrician, that ain't that job's real name. This prison was a plantation once, that's how it got its name. They brought in slaves from Angola, to every white man's shame. Now it's mostly black folks who come walking across this yard. No one tells the truth of that. Truth is way too hard. On Main Street in St. Francisville, folks cross to the other side. And when I leave a little drunk, no one offers me a ride. They're guilty little secrets, they need someone they can blame. They call me electrician, they all know my real name. They call me electrician, but no matter what they say, I'd rather be myself than them upon the judgment day. Who sat there in that jury box, right hand raised to swear? Or the one who brought the gavel down, sent them to the chair? When the lights in town on flicker, people say that I'm to blame. They call me electrician, that ain't that job's real name. Thank you very much. It's time for Joke of the Week. Here we go. So, there's a couple thoroughbred racehorses. They're in the stall next to one another, and they're standing there, and the first racehorse says to the second one, you know, the last time I ran in a race, and I won the race, right before I ran, I felt an odd prick in my hindquarters. And the second horse says, that's so strange, because the last time I ran in a race and won that race, I also felt a prick in my hindquarters. Just then, a dog is walking by, and the dog says, you guys, you dummies, you're so stupid. Don't you know you were injected with a drug? You were doped up to run fast. Don't you know anything? And the first horse looks at the second horse, and he says, wow, a talking dog. There was a famous English composer named Frederick Sibelius. And Sibelius wrote an opera, composed an opera called A Village Romeo and Juliet. And the most famous and meaningful piece of music to come out of that particular composition was a piece called The Walk to the Paradise Garden. and became quite famous. And I just like the phrase a lot, so I thought I would sort of borrow that phrase. And whether we know it or not, and no matter how far in the distance it is, in one way or another, we're all on a walk to the Paradise Gardens, and we're going to get there together. Climb in the back of the 54 Ford. On Sundays we go for a drive out past the fields with their long rows of corn before they built 75. One shimmering day lasts all summer long. Even the chores feel like play. We'll find our way back, we know it by heart, where the wind makes the apple trees sway. We are walking to the Paradise Garden in the cool of the evening. It's the first day of May. We are strolling to the Paradise Garden. Oh, the Paradise Garden is a heartbeat away. Like a hubcap that shines in the evening's last rays, hand polished and covered with chrome, the moon rises up as big as a dream and follows us all the way home. What do you wish for and fear most in paradise? Both are just one step away. Take care, beware, here's some advice. Have an apple a day. The Paradise Garden in the cool of the evening. It's the first day of May. We are strolling to the Paradise Garden. Oh, the Paradise Garden is a heartbeat away. Paradise Garden, heartbeat away. Thanks. So in 1939, there were approximately 3.5 million Jewish people living in Poland. By the end of World War II, approximately 3 million of those people were dead in the death camps in Nazi Germany. At the same time, in 1939, a whole shipload, 900 Jewish people came to the United States to immigrate here, reached the United States, and were turned away. They ended up back in Europe and were forced into the camps. At least half of them died in the camps. By 1942, the United States had instituted its own concentration camps here, and approximately 120,000 Japanese Americans, most of whom were American citizens, were stripped of their property, their homes, their businesses, and relocated to these camps. Don't believe it can't happen here, because it can. Grandma Anna sailed over from Poland. Her sad parents sent her away to escape from the train bound for Auschwitz. She told me of that horrible day. their ship docked in old San Francisco. Uncle Saul met her down at the pier. He said, "Don't be afraid, little Anna. There is room for you here. Room in our homes, room in our hearts, room in our lives for making new starts. Just when the hour is darkest, hate wants to hold us in fear. We are only in need of reminding there is room for you here." Men came for her Japanese neighbors, hauled away Anna's best friend to some far-off camp in the desert. She never did see him again. People treated those Japanese families as if they were somehow to blame. Made her think of her parents in Krakow and imagine boarding that train. Room in our homes, room in our hearts, room in our lives for making new starts. Just when the hour is darkest, hate wants to hold us in fear. We are only in need of reminding there is room for you here. Now refugees flock to our borders. They beg us to give them a home. If my grandma were here, know what she'd say to those folks in the Capitol Dome. There's a lady who stands in the harbor. The words of her message are clear. She tells all who are yearning for freedom, there's room for you here. Room in our homes, room in our hearts, room in our lives for making new starts. Just when the hour is darkest, hate wants to hold us in fear. We are only in need of reminding there is room for us here. We are only in need of reminding there is room for you here. Thank you very much. That's it for our show. I have one more song for you. I want to say, oh, I'm missing something. Oh, now I'm on. Now I can say thank you. Thank you for joining us today. It means a lot to me and to all of us that you're here. Thanks so much to the wonderful Steve Goulian, who agreed to come all the way from Lathrop Village just to be on this show. I'd love to have you here and come back again, Steve. We have a plan here, which is we're going to take at least a week off. Our next show is scheduled then for June 18th at the same time. So we'll be gone for a week. I also want to mention to everyone out there, because it may not be clear, that the brains behind this whole thing really are the crew, the production crew, my wife Margaret, but most of all my daughter Grace, who's doing all the technical stuff for this that is way over my head. So Grace Hazlett Just remember that. She's the big producer on this show. Come back in 2 weeks. We are going to rethink everything and be back with something new. When the wind gets in, it goes rustling through your footnotes like the misplaced rhymes of poets, wildly swirling round your head. And it speaks your name like it knows your secret handshake, matching every breath that you take when the wind gets in. When the wind gets in, wearing scents of far-off places, bearing strange exotic traces that beckon you outdoors. All your careful plans flutter whistling out the window. You can never tell where they'll go when the wind gets in. Where angels step lightly and saints knock politely, you find you're compelled to go. In a flurry of motion, you're stripped of the notion that you're the one in control. Gets in, shakes your limbs from top to bottom, stirs your dreams like leaves of autumn, piles them up in red and gold, like an unspoken word, hovering on the tip of God's tongue. You stand shivering on the top rung when the wind gets in. Like an unspoken word, hovering on the tip of God's tongue. You stand shivering